Spain, right?
Yes.
So, Eddie, I think I met you, 6 months ago, very briefly, and then we lost track of each other, and then you were traveling, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You were traveling, and then you came back to the city, and you decided to say, "Hey, I'm back."
Right. Right. Get back in touch.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what did you do during those 6 months? You went to see some clients overseas?
No, I was actually mainly traveling. I went to China, Thailand, Canada.
Really?
Yeah, it's
That's exciting.
yes, for sure. Yeah, it's
Not
traveling.
not everybody can travel for 6 months.
I guess that's the good thing that you're working for yourself, I guess.
You can take off.
You can take off not whenever you want, but it just happened to be that amount of time that I'm actually able to take off
Yeah?
and do something else. Yeah, yeah.
And you were curious about these countries?
Yes, well, I am Canadian, so
Oh.
for me, it's a homecoming to Canada
Go home.
and deal with a few things. In
Are
Thailand,
you from the East?
Toronto,
Okay, from the
Canada.
east.
Yes, yeah, yeah. And in Thailand, I've never been there, so definitely wanted to check out.
So you do understand French?
No.
In Toronto,
I never learned French. No.
okay, they
no.
do speak French occasionally there, right?
Yeah, I think a very big population, even in Toronto, speak French.
Right.
It is primary English, but
Everything is bilingual.
everything is bilingual. Yes, even on the package and the sign, and everything is bilingual.
I
Yes,
noticed
yeah,
that
yeah.
the bathroom are bilingual too.
Yes.
So
yes,
I
yeah.
say, oh my God, this is like my show. Everything's bilingual.
Yeah.
So anyway, so Thailand, because you had your family there.
No, actually, the whole family decided to go to Thailand for the Chinese New Year.
Awesome.
So it's a family get together. So yeah, it was exciting. It was
And
exciting.
they knew where to take you,
Yes, my aunt actually lived in Thailand,
and she knew the good spots.
Exactly, she knew where the good stuff is.
Yeah?
Yes, yeah. She lived there for her whole life. So yeah,
And the third country was
China.
China. So
Right.
you've never been there before.
No, I was born in China.
Oh, you were born there, okay.
Yeah, I was born in China, and so went back to see my family, and also actually wanted to explore a little bit of the business opportunities in China.
For you.
For myself, just because business in China, as you know, is booming.
It's booming
growing.
now.
And so there are a lot of opportunity in China. And
Yeah,
I
for
decided
people who
to-
want to export to America.
Yes, yes.
And do you
Yeah.
converse with them in English?
No.
No.
Yeah, I think in China, I think
It's better to
yeah,
use their language.
Exactly. And especially I'm able to speak Chinese, so it's better to speak Chinese in China.
Did they detect an accent in you?
Chinese?
Yeah.
No, I speak very fluent.
Oh, you do?
Yes,
Perfect.
yes, yes.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you were able to connect.
Yes, for sure.
Wow.
I think
so
that's
now
one
you
of my
gotta keep in touch, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, because relationships in China take time. They don't just do business with you on the first date. You gotta court them, like a
Right.
courtship until they marry you, right?
Right. You were
Until-
definitely right.
Yeah, and then once they feel comfortable with
Yeah.
you and they see you still around,
Yeah.
okay, then they say, "Oh yeah, maybe I have a project for you."
Yes. You know China very well. I'm surprised. Yeah, that's exactly how it works. A lot of times they don't talk business right away. They
On the
want
first
to be
date.
friends. Yeah, be friends first, and that's how
And
it
then
works. Yeah.
and then we can go further.
Exactly.
It's like first date, no touching, and then after you can after you can go more familiar with the person. Okay, so basically, you went to China, you went to Thailand, and you went to Canada. Where are the best prospects for you?
Business wise,
Yeah.
well, I think business wise, my main focus is still in San Francisco Bay Area, or California, I should say.
You have been here most of your life.
No, actually, I lived in San Francisco for 3 years. I initially moved from Toronto here for my MBA.
Oh, as a student.
As a student, initially, I came here as a student, and when I finished my school, I started the management consulting company. But I would say a very big part of my connections are here because I went to school here.
right after school you were here.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
did you keep in touch with your MBA student friends?
Yeah, we actually go out for drinks,
See
food
what's
all the
going on?
time. Exactly, just keeping in touch with each other. Yeah,
Your
it's
your your goals, your ambitions, everything.
exactly. Yeah, most of them are still work around San Francisco, so it's
That's
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
And then do you have like accountability partners with them where you can see if you're moving forward or backwards or stand still?
Oh, you mean like a
Do you keep in
personal?
touch
Yeah.
with someone that say, "Hey, this is what you should do now," or and you tell them this is what you should do now? Do you have
Ah,
someone like a buddy?
right.
Do you have a buddy?
Yeah, I have a few of them. I think I could call them as my
Consultant.
accountability partner or personal consultant or friends. We always give each other advice of what we should do and how we should do to improve our business and
Yeah.
things like that. Definitely, there's
Yeah,
some
because if you're
really
stagnating, maybe
right,
you consult someone yourself, right?
right. Yeah, and that's very important. I think, especially as a consultant, you always learn, right? And you should always learn.
Especially about marketing, how to
Right.
promote yourself.
Right.
Yeah, and did you find that your friends had a better insight because they did maybe marketing and you didn't, or things like that?
Yes, I think I wouldn't say they have better insight. I think that everyone have their own expertise.
Yeah.
Like I guess my strong point is I have 9 years background in finance. I was in finance in 9 years before I started my MBA.
I see.
I was a financial advisor, business advisor for a bank. And
Wow.
yeah, and I used to manage
There's
a
tons of job in there.
right. I used to manage a $100 million portfolio. So
Wow.
I have a
So you can get a very good job in a big bank.
if I want to. Well, I mean, for sure. I think that bank is a pretty attractive. I guess there are a lot of jobs in the
Yeah.
banks that are pretty attractive when it
Yeah.
comes to compensation. But
Yeah.
I have decided I wanted to become a consultant, so
Mm-hmm.
I decided to move away from banking. But I think that
So they would consult you about banking or something else?
for me is mainly is business. So like I said, my strong point is finance as well as strategic planning. So through my MBA program,
You learned that.
I have actually spent a lot of time focusing on strategic planning.
Okay.
So helping business solve their problem, helping business finding a way to grow their business, grow their market shares, grow their business, expand their business.
Could be any industry.
It could be any industry, any business. I'm
Is
kind of.
the rules are the same on the whole? No.
I think that, and that's what's interesting about consulting is that a lot of times that even though it's two completely different company, the things that you learn from one company can be transferred to a different company or even to a different industry.
Wow.
So that I definitely don't want to restrict myself into a certain industry or a certain type of company.
That's good. This
Yeah.
way you don't have to stay another 9 years with banks.
Exactly, or get really bored. That was one of the reasons I decided to leave
Oh,
banking.
to branch out, yes.
Yeah, I was kind of bored in finance,
banking.
In banking, yes. Yeah.
So you know everything about the bank. You can even open your own, right?
I wouldn't say that. But I definitely have a lot of experience in banking, and I've have went through many different roles in banking. So it's definitely if a bank, I think a very natural fit for me would be doing consulting for a small financial or a financial institution or a I guess how do you call that? Fintech,
Fintech.
financial tech company. That would be a very natural fit for me to provide some
Yeah, like
consulting service.
GoFunding.com or
Right.
one of those.
Credit
one of those-
Karma, things like that. Yeah.
There's so many funding companies now. It's like a dime a dozen.
Yes.
Landing Circle, Landing Club, all
Right.
kinds of stuff.
Right,
So
right,
they all
right.
have their own little special.
For sure. And it's definitely a growing business. And
People can get their loan anywhere they want.
I guess, yeah.
are banks losing market share because of the booming of all these online loan companies? Obviously, probably yes. I don't know.
I think that a lot of people are still go to traditional bank. A lot of these online, I guess it's loan company or other company. A lot of times they're actually targeting clients that
Could not get
could
bank
not get
loans.
loans from the bank,
That is correct. That
or
is correct.
exactly, or the
But
bank.
the interest rate is like 13%.
Right. So they're tapping into, they're charging high interest to cover the higher risk they're taking for these
Okay,
clients.
like Lending Circle is like for startups. So they examine their business plan. They say, are we going to fund that company?
Right.
It's a big risk.
Right.
So they, in a way, not just lending, they're also taking an advancement approach to the lending, because if the company goes bankrupt,
Right.
then they lose everything.
Right. Exactly.
They look at it more as a point of view of an investment than a lending.
Right.
They don't ask as much collateral, I guess.
Yeah, I think that it's all about doing the due diligence, and that's how we call it, doing the due diligence. Make sure that you are still a good client, right? When they lend money
And
to
the
you.
idea is good.
Right. The idea is good. You have good track record of running a
Previously.
business and things like that. Collateral. So they look at a lot of different things.
See if they had seed money before, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. There is
There's a lot of considerations.
Right.
And also they see, I think, if you already have a few clients, because if you have no clients at all,
Right.
it's like the lottery. It's a total gamble.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah, anyways, that's the banking loans business. Let's go back to you. So someone comes to you and they say, help me, I'm sinking. What do you do?
Well, I think my process, it really depends on, there is some clients will come to me with a very specific issue or problem.
Okay.
Some people will come to me and say, I just wanted to have a very general look of my company. Can
Okay.
you provide a business plan
For
let's say,
me.
for me? Or so I think I'm taking a different approach from these two kind of clients. For people that come to me for a business plan, usually the first thing we do is doing a lot of research about their business, about the industry they're in, and about the competitors, because it's really important to know the business they're in and competitors, so that make sure that they're competitive in their industry. And so that's usually what we do. The first thing we do is actually we will do a lot of research about their company, about the industry, about the competitors, and then we will actually go through. We have steps that we go through to actually construct the business plan.
To change the course.
Exactly, and sometimes we will propose a action that they should take to actually to get to the next step. And that's usually what we do with when they come to us with a business plan.
Okay.
And a lot of times when the people that come to us with a business plan are the business that's really, really new. That's why they come to you with a business plan, because they haven't have a lot of idea. Sometimes they don't even know what needs to be included in a business plan.
Oh.
Right? For instance, do you have to know your organization development plan? Are you gonna hire people next year? Are you planning to hire? How many people are you planning to hire? What's the cost gonna be?
So it's for
involved with?
medium-sized companies.
Right, the size of the company, and some people.
It's like a medium size is above 250 people. So you go for companies that are above 250 people?
So in California, the small size company
Is
is
0 to
100,
250.
to 100.
Oh, it's 200. Okay.
Yeah, and I believe the national number is the national number is 250. Would
Yeah.
be considered small business.
Yeah.
But in California, it's 100. I believe less than 100 is the small business.
So do you go for anybody with less than 100?
I would go for, I don't really focus on just small business, but so far, yes, most of my clients are less than 100,
Okay.
100 customers. I think that when they're too small, I don't want to be selfish, but when they're too small, sometimes they're not.
They don't
they
have as
cannot,
much
they
money
cannot,
coming in.
exactly, they can't really afford a consultant, and sometimes they don't see the value
So
of
it's
that.
in your best interest to go above 100.
I personally think that a business that has between 50 to 100
Okay.
is a good
It's
number.
good. It's in the middle.
Exactly, because when they have 50 employees,
Yeah.
that these are the businesses that actually start to realize that they want to expand, they want to grow, and they have
become medium sized. Okay.
exactly, and they have money usually at that time to pay for
At that
consulting.
point.
Right, right.
So let's say like a startup has reached, like you said, above 50. Now they need even more insights to grow even more.
Right, right.
So they have done maybe the first steps.
Exactly. So those clients a lot of times will come to us for a very specific issue or a specific problem, and they could say, for instance, they can come to me and say, what do you think about expanding my business to China, let's say? And then, so with these kind of clients that will actually, we don't actually go through the whole business plan because it could be just a little bit waste of time. We still do a lot of research. I think that's what we always should do when we take on a new client, because we don't know them before, and so we actually need to do a lot of time to get us understand their business first before we can advise them. So we do a lot of research about their business, and then usually with the for specific problems or issues, we will actually make a lot of assumptions and decide and come up with a few different solutions, like a different solution scenarios, and say you could probably do this, you could probably do this, you could probably do this and do that. And with all these, because these are just assumptions, and we don't know if they will work. So what we
give them 3 solutions.
No, it could be quite a few, but we don't really just give it to them. We actually, so what we do is with these assumptions, we will actually sit down with the client and then review them. We will do testing. We do testing with them by just talking about these solutions and say, well,
what do you think of that?
Yeah, we can do this, but how can we make sure? Is there anything that would stop us from doing this to be successful?
Okay.
Or is there anything we should do to make this successful? And usually by doing these exercises, we'll find out the solution just doesn't work.
Okay.
It will cost too much money to make this happen.
Okay.
It might not get you enough customer. Okay. So we'll do this exercise, and once we have, and then usually we'll filter down to maybe just 1 or 2 solutions. And
well, if they don't have money, they go get funding, right?
Right. Yes, they can always go get funding.
If you think there's a potential there.
Right. It's not always easy to get funding these days, especially I think in the last
it's higher.
2 years.
It's higher interest rates.
Right.
I mean,
and also because I do advise startups, tech startups, and in San Francisco, I think in the last 2 years, a lot of VCs are become a lot more
pulling out.
Cautious. I think it's a good thing. They are not just investing anybody now. They really do the due diligence and make sure
they have clients already, right?
Exactly.
Do you watch the show Shark Tank?
I do. I love that show.
Yeah, because they do ask very specific questions.
Yes.
About how they're gonna do this. Do they have a plan? Do they have any volume already? Is it been tested? They ask all these things before they put more money into
Exactly.
So we learn ourselves, even if we're not advisors like you.
Right.
We learn how it's being done.
Right. For sure. I mean, those are smart people. They're successful people, so they definitely don't want to waste their money.
Yeah.
And so
even though they're billionaires, they don't want to waste money.
Exactly. They don't want to waste their money. So definitely they ask really tough questions.
Okay.
Right?
You think you'll be a guest? A host on Shark Tank one day?
Well.
Are you on your way to your first billion?
I don't know. Hopefully,
you never know.
Maybe one day. I think that
it takes ambition.
Exactly. I think most people in the business definitely have that drive and ambition to be successful.
Okay.
And hopefully that will happen to me one day.
But the question is,
Yeah.
are you ambitious?
Yes,
You
definitely.
are. You
Yeah, I
are.
think definitely I want to grow my business. I want to
Okay.
grow my consulting company. Right now, it is a small consulting company. I
Okay.
definitely,
But you do want more.
exactly, definitely am planning to hire people this coming year
All right.
and planning to continue to hire people in the next few years for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, it takes someone that something that comes within you, inside you, that you
Right,
want to do it.
right.
Because if you're happy with just your one bedroom place and your place to go to the coffee shop
Right,
and you don't want anything more, some people are like that.
right,
They say, I
right,
don't need more. I'm
right,
fine.
right, right,
But some people want more.
right,
They envision traveling, or they envision helping people with jobs, or they envision bigger things for themselves.
right, right, right.
So it depends. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely understand. Even from the small business client that I consult, you can see there are certain clients that they're happy, so they
The
don't
way they
really
are.
need consulting because
They're happy
they're
where
really
they at.
happy with they are, right? You tell them, you come in to tell them to grow. Well, I don't really want to go.
Yeah.
That's my life. I'm happy with that. And
Okay.
those are the people that probably don't need a lot of consulting. Because they're doing fine with just
Yeah.
a little shop themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. So if they're happy with their income they currently have,
Right.
they don't envision bigger stuff.
Right. 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 For sure. Yeah.
So there is a solution for every type of personality you meet.
Right.
Like you got to see who that person is first before you propose.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that even with consultant, even when I used to be a financial advisor for the bank, we always feel like there were certain clients that just click better with you.
Okay.
Right. And definitely, I think in the long run, you want most of your clients to be clients like that.
Okay.
Right. Because you can potentially do a really, really good job, or you believe you do a really good job. But if the clients that just never trust you and never satisfied with what you do, and it's just gonna make your life miserable. And so these are the clients probably you just want to cut it off from your portfolio. You want clients that you can
Add more assets to their
exactly.
portfolio.
Right, and you clients that you feel like you're helping them, and they appreciate that you're helping them, and clients that you can actually sometimes push each other going forward. Because I always see my client as a partner. I don't just see them as a client.
Okay.
Sometimes they help me too.
Of course, if
Right.
they make money, you make more.
Exactly. So I like to have a client that they trust me and they believe what I can do for them, and I trust them too. And I think that those are the great relationship because I'm a business consultant, my clients are business owner. So definitely it's a partner rather than just client.
All
Yeah.
right. And what do you think is the biggest motivation for someone to want more? What's the motivation behind their their wish to be bigger?
To be bigger?
Yeah. What's their motivation?
I think everyone really have different motivation. I think it really depends on the person, and a lot of times it's coming from their life experience.
Like ambition.
Right. What is ambition is also really coming. I feel like a lot of times it's coming from their life experience.
Okay.
That what they, for instance, there's certain people. They probably, for instance, some people really enjoy traveling and they
Okay.
really like don't have to worry about finance and they don't have to worry about money when they travel. And so this could be an inspiration or driving force to make them want to make a lot of money so that they can
Can do
so
that.
they can do that, right?
Alright.
So I think that everyone have to you can say it's ambition, but I think everyone have to dig down in themselves and see what is something that will drive me from going forward.
Okay.
Right? For me is I like the autonomy of being a business owner. I like to be able to control my own time, control what I do,
And your hours.
my hours, and I really enjoy that. That when I do something, I don't have to go through 5, 6, 10 people to get approval. That's usually
Oh,
what happened in a
you,
bank.
yeah. So you are the only person you have to
Exactly.
get the approval
Right. So
from.
exactly, and I really enjoy this, and
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that's driving me, and I also enjoy freedom, and I
Yeah.
love
But you
traveling.
could be wrong one day and nobody to tell you no.
That is also true, and I think especially for business owner or even consultant like myself, and just like we talked about earlier, that you always should have a group of people, a network of people. You can call them your personal consultant
Yeah.
that will help you and that will actually
You
set you straight
straight.
if you
If you're on the wrong
if you're
track.
on the wrong track or
Okay.
if you're doing something that that's
That's not good for you.
that's not good for myself
Okay.
or if anything I can do to improve myself. You should always have. I'm still building, I can tell you that. I still don't have a full set of people. I'm still building and that's why you can see I'm going around to meet people because my
And you're
goal.
doing PR, yeah. Public
Yeah,
relations.
it's not for me. It's not just public relation. I personally don't really believe in networking that much. I believe in making friends. I think
Yes,
that
yeah, it's word of mouth, public relations.
right
I have a sense also what's happening out there.
is right, and also is making close friends that will actually help you when something really happen. And I
Ah,
think that's something that I'm really focusing doing as a personal growth. I think yeah.
so yeah, you gotta meet the right people who click with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your other motivation, I'm sure, is your family. You wanna be in their eyes as the symbol of success.
Well, this is kind of this is an interesting view. I think most of the family, especially coming from an Asian Chinese family,
They look up to you.
a Chinese family are very focused on
Success.
being successful in life, and I think that's something that there are a lot of successful people in my family, and that actually put a lot of pressure on me
To also be
to
successful.
be successful. I personally, however, I don't really like to that these type of pressure
Oh, like
push me.
type A personality.
Exactly. I don't think these are the right motivation. I
Yeah.
don't want it to be better just so that I can show off. I don't want to be better just so that my parents can
Are
show off.
happy. Yeah.
I don't. I feel like I want to do better so I can be happy.
Personal
Right.
satisfaction. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really use that to actually motivate myself. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
very hardworking? You're not a workaholic, but are you a very hardworking individual? Obviously, you are since you got your MBA. But in general, after your MBA, are you hardworking?
I think so. I'm a very hardworking person. Sometimes I can lose track of time when I'm
Really?
really focused on doing something. So you can probably call me a workaholic.
Yeah.
But I think I'm starting to learn more, especially as a business owner, that a lot of times you need to work smart than work hard.
Okay.
Right.
You just have to step back.
Yeah, you have to step back and say, for instance,
Let me delegate.
I have a tendency in the past. I have tendency to wanted to do everything myself.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to learn more and more now. Sometimes it's better, and it is definitely better and more efficient, and it's more effective if you just find someone else to do it, even pay that person, because this is something that
That will
you're not going
free
to do
you
well.
to do the
Something that
smart
I could
stuff.
do better. Exactly.
Yeah, the smart stuff. So
Yeah.
you apply your own strategy to yourself.
Exactly.
I mean, your own counseling, you apply it to yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, so you go around and you tell people, listen, don't do everything yourself. Just take a part of your job and give it to 5 or 6 people.
Right. And I think that every business different different type of business have different type of process. But I think that if you want to be a successful business owner, you definitely need to learn how to dedicate work. You want it to be the person that that come up with business strategy. You want to focus on the bigger picture of the company, and you can create a business process that everyone below you can follow, so that you can you don't have to micromanaging those people. You can give them the
They're good
process.
and they're trustworthy.
Exactly, and they can do they can do things based on the process you have created. But you shouldn't be the one that actually doing those work. Otherwise, you will be just a worker. You will be continue working rather than being a business owner.
So I worked a long time ago in France for a big
Yeah.
company, and what
Yeah.
they did, and they took the revenue and the profit divided by the number of employees, 4,000 maybe,
Yeah.
and they decided how much they made money per employee.
Okay.
By decided that.
Right. Right.
So let's say that they made, I don't know, maybe 100,000 per employee.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't the logic to hire twice as many employees? Because the more employees you have, the more money you're gonna make, right? Per capita.
It's not always it's not always like that. It might works in the consulting work. If you look at large consulting company, because consulting company is charging their client by hours,
Okay.
right? So the more consulting you have, yeah, in a way, it's true that you will make more money. But I think the condition is that you have to have so much work for those people to
hire
actually
them.
to consult to do consulting, right? Otherwise, you would just the more people you hire, you're gonna decrease the amount each person will hire. Then it will be just
More people.
It will be more people, but instead of everyone will make $100,000, everyone now will be making $60,000 because now have more people, but the
But
work
there's
is the
more
same.
revenue if you have more people.
Right. If more people can create more revenue, that's definitely
That's-
you
that's
wanted
the
to do.
track
Yeah,
to
you can take that direction, but it's not always like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
No, because to take the example of a very big company like Apple, I remember
Right.
when Obama came, or after he got elected, he went to see them in person and say, you guys have so much money, you gotta start hiring more people. And they did.
Right.
They hired the greeter, they hired extra people
Right.
that they didn't need. So all of a sudden, the store, instead of having only 1 or 2 employees to
Right.
help people, all of a sudden they have 50
Right.
just to create jobs. But
Right.
it turned out to be a good strategy because all of a sudden there's more people to help people
Right.
one-on-one, and all of a
Right.
sudden the revenue went up. So it was a good strategy.
Right. And I think that definitely can potentially work in a certain case, but I think this has to be very, very carefully.
You got to be careful what you put your people doing.
Exactly. I think that one example would be one of the bank I worked for before.
Yeah.
I work in one of the biggest branch in the country. So we have a lot of employee in that branch,
Okay.
and the bank give the branch manager really high authority to hire people.
Okay.
If they want to hire people, go ahead. They just
Okay.
keep hiring and hiring.
Keep hiring.
But
Then that increase their revenue.
yes, it doesn't necessarily, because now you start to see people. One is the salespeople start to fight with each other
Oh.
because there's just so much sales coming to the door, but there are too many salespersons. So salespersons start to fight with each other.
Ah.
And then you will see, for instance, you will start to see the service people starting to sit around and do nothing because there are too many service people and there is not enough customer to serve. So service people start
So
to
you
sit
got to
around.
do it progressively for the service people. As soon as you get more customers, then you hire more service.
Exactly. I think the key is to, doesn't matter if you want to hire more people or not. You have to look at you have to look at it financially. Say if hiring people is going to increase the sales, that makes sense.
Okay.
Right. If the hiring people is going to increase profitability, it makes sense. You can't hire people just for the sake of hiring, or just because you're too much money, like Apple.
And you have to hire.
Yeah, that could be a problem because and I think that's a problem with some of the large company. I wouldn't say Google, Apple, but
The big ones, yeah.
It happens to some of the large company that sometimes when they have the too much money, they are wasteful because they start to feel like they have to do something with the money, and they start to invest in project, hiring people, and for a project that just doesn't work,
Oh, really?
right? And so that could be a wasteful. So
No,
you actually
they focus on those products that will work.
they should
Oh,
focus on the product that will work, but there is always
sometimes there's one that did not
there
work.
is always there is a potential that they're just so eager to spend money,
Oh,
and
yes, they
they
are.
right. So I
I
think
heard that just for the iPhone they made 125 billion.
right.
So what are they going to do with all that money? They have to hire.
Well, so right now, I think a few years back, what Apple did was that for the first time in the history, Apple had decided to pay dividend to their customer, and
Yeah.
that's a good. I think that's a good use of money
Yeah.
because their customer has been loyal to them for so long, or the shareholder has
That's
been
a good
loyal.
idea.
Yeah, so they started to pay dividend to their shareholder, and I think to their customer,
Yeah.
to the shareholder, and
Yeah,
that's a good thing
shareholders.
because when the shareholder receive those dividends, they're
They're
gonna
happy.
spend it, and
They're going to spend it on
that's good for
Apple.
the economy, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, you're right. Those are very big company. But for
Yeah,
smaller company, you got to be
right.
careful how you spend it.
Exactly. Yeah, a smaller company you definitely have to be careful. I always say that planning, right? It's all about planning, and it's always about set a goal. Just like you said, that some small business owner they're happy with making $60,000 a year. That's their goal, and
Oh,
so with a goal like that, you probably don't need to hire a lot of people, and
okay.
they're
But with the small company, if they realize that the more salespeople they have, the more money comes in the door, then
right.
hire more salespeople.
Um, like I said, I think there is it really depends on the goal of the business owner, both
Okay.
financial goal and personal goal. If they wanted to maintain small, then they're not going to hire more people.
Oh,
But if a company is wanted to grow, yes, they are going to look for ways to get more funding. They are going to look for ways to expand their business, to hire people. That's definitely something that a company, an ambition company that want to grow, and that's definitely something that they will be looking for. Yes.
okay. But then,
Yeah.
as a consultant, you can say, okay, I understand you don't want to personally grow, but for society, you could help society by creating jobs, and then you take it from your point of view rather than
Right.
their point of view. You just tell them do it for the good of society, and they listen to you.
That's interesting. I don't think that as a consultant, I don't think it's our job to change their view in their life.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I can do that because I'm not going to be there for their whole life, and so I can't tell them how to change their life. I can tell them what I think,
Yeah.
but I don't think that
Your point of view matters.
right. I don't think that I am the person to tell them how to live their life.
Okay.
That's at least that's what my philosophy is.
Yeah.
I'm not that kind of person that like telling other people how
Yeah,
to
if they're happy the way they are,
right.
just leave them alone.
Right. It
Okay.
has to come from themselves. It has to come from inside themselves because otherwise I can push them to do something, but then I would be in a position that I have to continue to push them because it's not coming from inside of themselves.
So you have to call them every month and say, "Hey, did you hire 3 people this month?"
Right. It doesn't work like that. I don't think this has ever happened before to me. So I don't think that's
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
tell them your plan.
right.
If they want to implement it, fine. If they don't, you still get paid.
Yes, I think in a way it's true that I still get paid if I do a business plan, but I think that when they come to us for a business plan, usually there's something is bothering them, right?
Okay. So
Yeah.
you try to fix it.
Yes, and usually they wanted to they could be in business for 2 years now that they're not profitable. They wanted to know what's going on with the
Why?
business.
They want
wanna
to know why.
Yeah,
And you tell them.
right. Either is they're not good with their marketing.
Okay.
They're not good with their procurement plan. They're not they're paying too high for their inventory, for their material, or things like that.
Oh, you have to look at every aspect of the
Right.
business.
I think that's what a business plan is about. You wanted to look at every aspect of the business,
Yeah.
and then find out if there is anything that needs
You
to
can
improve.
change in the
Right.
budget. Okay.
Right. So I think that as a consultant, what I hate most is that I would do a business plan for a client and thinking that, well, you know what, I'm going to get paid either way. They can put this plan, shuffle this plan on the shelf, and they never have to think about it. I still get paid. I don't like that. I think that when I
You
do
have
a
to follow up.
I want to see first. I want to see a result, right?
Oh.
I wanted to see by doing this, their condition is improving, right?
Okay, okay.
Now they can start to pay themselves.
Okay.
Now they're making profit now. So I think this is what make you feel happy as a consultant, that you're actually helping them improve themselves. And you're also right in the sense that you should always go back to them after, say, a few months after you provide the plan.
And say, did you?
And did you do it? And how does it work? Did it work? Was there anything else is bothering you? So this is not only this is a way to actually continue maintain a relationship with your client, and it's to make sure that they know that you care, right?
Did they ever ask you if you tried a business yourself and were successful with your plan?
I think I actually haven't had clients ask me that.
Yeah.
As a consultant, that
You don't have to be a businessman yourself.
I am a businessman. I'm
Oh, yeah,
running
yeah,
a
you're
consulting
consultant.
company. So, and it's very easy to tell them I am running my consulting company.
Successfully.
Exactly, and I have to do exact same thing just like other business owner. I have to do marketing for myself.
Yeah.
I have to consider potentially hire people for
Yeah.
myself. I have to do
Yeah.
finance for myself.
Yeah.
It is just like any other business. And
So you gotta have someone look at you and say, this is what you're gonna do.
Exactly. So I think that some people kind of forgot consulting company is a company too, and that's why I can always tell my client I am running a consulting company myself,
And I'm very successful.
and I consider myself as successful. It's new, but it's successful. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they want someone who have tried what are being advised to them.
Right, and I think that that you bring out another good point is that as a consultant, I don't really go into a business and tell them that
I tried it myself.
Or no, I'm not going to a business to say that, you know, I'm smarter than you. That's why I'm here to tell you what to do.
Oh,
I don't
really?
think that's what
It's a
consultant should
suggestion
be.
then.
I think a consultant there is a lot of different reasons I think consultant will help as a business to a business owner. One thing could be a different set of heads, different point of
Fresh
opinion.
views.
Yeah, and someone that's coming from outside, right? They're
Plus you're younger, so you know what's new out there.
potentially, yes, and so these could be really helpful to a business owner that sometimes they're in their business so deep they couldn't think outside of the box. And for a outside consultant can provide a very fresh of opinion can actually help them completely change their business direction sometimes.
Yeah, and
Right.
I've seen this week a lady on, I think, LinkedIn, and all she does
Yeah.
is, like you said, the digital conversion of companies.
Okay.
So let's say a company is still the old ways. She tell them to totally become digital,
Okay.
tech, everything tech. No
Okay.
more paper, no more. so just to look forward to the future trend of the young people. That's
Right.
the trend they're going toward.
Right.
So if a company wants to convert from traditional to digital, she's there to consult.
Right. That's interesting.
Yeah, so like move from a traditional way of doing business to the modern way or the trend of modern world.
Right. And I believe that in the future, or if it's not already now, I think all business, one way or the other, will have some kind of online presence.
Yes.
Some business could potentially have less online presence. Some people can, like for instance, massage therapist, right?
Yeah,
You
there's
still
no
have
way.
to
There's
you
no
still
way.
have to do that in person.
Yeah, that's a one-on-one thing.
Right, but they will still rely on
Marketing
through online banking, through
online,
their website,
online
social
website.
media marketing, and things like that. So they
So,
always
so part of their business will be digital, but part of their business will be hands-on.
exactly. So
Yeah.
it's going
So
that
combination
direction.
of both.
Exactly.
Yeah, like digitize, but don't print any more paper brochure. Go online.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the trend also.
Right.
No more pen, no more.
Right.
Well, I think that's where society is moving forward toward. I
I
mean,
think so.
they're getting rid of the pen and pencils.
Yeah.
and moving toward. Oh, let me take my phone number and.
Yeah, and I think that's why you see all these tech companies are still so successful, because I think that
They simplify people's job,
Right.
work.
yeah, I think the tech company are still in the forefront of moving people from just traditional businesses to online. They're making people go online. So I think that's why all these tech companies, tech startups they're here for a long time.
And
because
people are going to buy from them
Exactly.
their software.
Right.
So anyway, I'm sure your business is, since you do all industry, I'm sure your business is very varied and will become varied. So you will have the opportunity to look at many cases. So we just touched on a few today, but I appreciate your presence
Thank
here
you.
to let me know. Just an overview of how that works. And I appreciate you being here on our show. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I appreciate it.